Steiny and Guru with you on 95.7 The Game. And been looking forward to talking to our next guest. Her name is Shayna Rubin, and she covers the Golden State Warriors and the Oakland A's for the San Jose Mercury News. Shayna, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's start with the A's. What do you expect? Well, first of all, how much of the possible relocation do you have to deal with as opposed to what's actually going on the field? And then secondly, what do you expect tonight?
I'll be honest, I have not been following the on-the-field product very closely this year. I think there's been not a whole lot to follow. It's kind of a shell of a team, although right now they're the hottest team in baseball. And I will say there's a lot of exciting players. There's a lot of young, cool players to follow, but still, a AAA team that's playing. And it's been over the last few years since I started covering the team in 2019, it's been a lot, majority, just covering what's going on off the field. It's been a roller coaster. It's been me learning a lot about the legislative process. It's been me learning a lot about local politics. So now trying to learn a lot about Nevada politics, Las Vegas politics on the fly. It's been a lot. It's been mostly off the field stuff with A's.
Ew. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
What about tonight? What do you expect tonight? How do you think the A's are feeling about this? The players and the front office, and what are you expecting?
Tonight, I've been looking on Twitter. There's a lot of fans that are manually calculating how many people are going to show up, which shows their dedication. It seems like there's going to be about 20,000. That's something like that. I think it's going to be a riot. It's going to be raucous, relatively speaking. There's going to be a tailgate before the game. There's going to be whole new banners hanging over the facade. It's going to be almost like a protest. It's going to be something that we haven't seen there probably ever. And I think it's a historic moment. This is if the team is on the precipice of moving after 55 years, and this is the moment that the fans, the beleaguered fans, can speak out against it. So it's going to be huge.
You know what? That you just said a word that just blew me away, because I was telling my partner I've never heard of a reverse boycott one. I'm a diehard fan, and I do understand people from afar saying, well, why are you putting money in the owner's pocket? But as a fan, short for fanatic, they're showing their persons to basically, symbolize something that they're not happy with, and that's ownership. But you just said the word I've been looking for a day and a half. It is a protest. When you first heard this was taking off, what went through, do you understand it from a fan's perspective, what they're trying to do?
Totally. I mean, the fans haven't been showing up. It's gotten worse after the pandemic because the conditions there are just completely different than they were even before the pandemic. But in the last few years, it's just been the crowds have slowly not shown up because they have been protesting in a different way. They're protesting ownership. They're protesting that they've given away all their favorite players. It's decades of them, the team, not giving them a reason to show up, and they're not showing up because they don't have a reason to. And the whole point of a reverse boycott, and I mean, the point is that now, the commissioner, the lobbyists in Las Vegas are using the fact that there are no fans there as a reason to move. So this is an opportunity for them to say, no, we're not the reason why you're leaving. We aren't here because of you. So there's a couple of layers to it, but the biggest layer is that they want to show that they are not the problem.
Shayna Rubin joining us on 95.7 The Game. She writes for the San Jose Mercury News, covers the Oakland A's and the Golden State Warriors. And I guess, what would what's the scenario in which John Fisher would sell the team?
I mean, if you look at the history of owners selling teams in any sport, it takes a lot, right? There has to be some PR blow up. There has to be some level of gross incompetence that happens in which the commissioner and all the other owners can't make an excuse or can't get them off the hook. So it's hard to say what it would take because from what we've seen, ownership has demonstrated a lot of incompetence in terms of, having a team that people want to watch, competing at the level that all the other MLB teams are competing at, having fans want to show up. And then on the ballpark level, they've tried 4 times, maybe more than that, to get a new ballpark and have not been able to do that, shown levels of incompetence in doing that element of it. So it's going to take maybe some external pressure. It's going to take the other owners to say this is enough. And I don't think that there's any, it doesn't seem like there's any internal turmoil there or any internal pressure applied on the commissioner to make it happen.
Shayna, we're all entitled to our opinions, and I'm a Bay Area native, and I hate, and everybody knows it, I hate what's going on with the A's. Everybody does. But would you mind if I ask you your thoughts of the video that was circulating last week with Dave Cavill, the spokesman for the A's, in a Nevada courtroom? Because before you answer, I'll just share with you mine. I was embarrassed. It just, I don't even want, if you want to call it unprepared, it was embarrassing. What did you make of that video that was circulating last week?
Yeah, I think it wasn't a good look for him, because this is one of the only times that everyone had their eyes glued to this whole process. And there was a lot of people watching, and it circulated online, obviously. I think it was indicative of a bigger issue that they're having, which is that and it's still going on, which is that they seem ill-prepared to actually make this happen. They came in with this bill, it looks like, at the 11th hour of the Nevada legislature's, I think it's a 120-day session. So they had already had all their own things that they were going through, and then from what it looks like, the A's came in and started to try to ram this bill through. And it was a very good example of the difference between what the A's are trying to do and what the state officials there are going through, which is, we don't know anything about what is in this bill. There's a lot to sort through, and you're trying to sort of get this through, and we have a lot of questions. So I think that it was a good example of how 11th hour all of this is for them, because they're in a special session. They're in overtime. They're in extra innings. So that was a good example of that.
Shayna Rubin joining us on 95.7 The Game. She works for the San Jose Mercury News, covers the A's and Warriors. I'm going to get a Warrior question or two in before we let you go. Give me your thoughts on Dunleavy, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, and Klay Thompson in terms of their roles next year. Will they be around?
Oh, those are the big names.
Yeah.
I think that's a great question. I think that all 4 will be around. I think it seems like the common sense now is that Dunleavy will be the GM. We don't know that for sure. That's just the name that's been swirling around, and I think we know that he's been behind the scenes doing a lot of work even before Bob left. If you see him at the games, he's always on the floor. He's very present. Draymond, I think he'll be around. I think that the Draymond, Klay, Jordan Poole, I know that's a name you didn't bring up. That's a dynamic that we'll have to keep an eye on, just in terms of who stays and who goes, because they're all pretty interconnected in terms of how they want to keep the team together. If they get a feel for what Klay is demanding in terms of extension, then that might determine Jordan Poole's future. Same with Draymond, what he's demanding or not demanding, or if he wants to go or stay, that will impact what they can give Klay, or if they want to keep Jordan. It's all very interconnected financially and in terms of what they want to put on the floor, quality wise.
Shayna, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight on the A's and the Warriors. And I guess go do your work tonight at the Collie.
Great. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Absolutely.